Celeste is one of the hardest video games ever created, and yet somehow the game has been taken to utmost perfection. However, there is still one challenge that remains that is yet to be completed. And that challenge is, can you beat Celeste without touching the floor? Now to start off this new challenge, we start off by naming our character, of course, the best name possible, and then we continue to start on the prologue. Thankfully though, this chapter is an absolute joke because of the one exception of the run being here, where I'm able to walk all over the floor as much as I want to, which allows me to easily clear this chapter and move onwards to Forsaken City. This chapter has a lot of skips and tricks we need to use for the rest of this chapter and the rest of the run as we know it. But if you've beaten Farewell before, you basically know most of the tips and tricks that you need to beat this run, which allows us to basically clear Forsaken City without a sweat. However, the same cannot be said for Old Sight. This chapter took 30 minutes alone when Forsaken City only took 10. And I hate this chapter with an absolute passion because of this challenge. And there are two specific rooms that really threw me for a loop. Room 1 requires insane precision because apparently the game considers these dream blocks as actual floor, which requires insane amounts of movement and skill to get past it without touching anything. And this room is just super long and super painful, requiring insane amounts of precision, timing, and overall pain and suffering. And after all of this, I'm so glad I never have to play this chapter ever again. But sadly, the next chapter is Celestial Resort, by far the worst chapter in all of Celeste, in my opinion. So let's see how this goes. Okay, watch this. Oh my god, I had it! Screw it, I'm watching a YouTube video, you can't stop me. Oh my god! Oh, I did it! I hate you, Mr. Oshiro. I hate you, Mr. Oshiro. I hate you, Mr. Oshiro. Oh my god. What? I guess we take those. New room. Let's go.
Oh my god, you gotta do it. Oh, unless? We're gonna go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkey off the menu. This video's gonna age so horribly. Imagine I upload it on Christmas, so I'm just like, we're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving. Wait, I might have something. Oh! What did I jump off of? Wait. Oh. I'm going insane. Oh my god.
Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Let's go! Baby, we take those! Oh my god! Oh my god, that took 2 hours! At least I got some 3, but oh my god! Anyways, after that absolute disaster, we move on to Golden Ridge, which is honestly the nicest, easiest chapter of the entire run. There's only really one room that is quite troublesome, but it doesn't really take too much elbow grease, and I was able to finish this chapter relatively quickly. However, I will say this is probably one of my favorite chapters, mostly because of how it looks, because oh my god, is it beautiful. However, after this nice little break, we are tasked with a super difficult challenge of clearing out Mirror Temple. The beginning is easy enough, but once it gets to the later parts, it gets a lot more difficult because those cramped spaces now get used for actual difficult movement. However, all was well until we came to the mirror section. After playing a short minigame, you get sent to this platform, where you are forced to go into a falling cutscene that touches the floor. However, this isn't actually a cutscene, meaning we are legally required to touch the floor here to continue. But the run isn't over just yet, as there is something we can do to avoid this. By grabbing this cassette tape, it'll allow us to unlock the B-sides, which, if completed, will move on to the next level. So off I went, clearing room after room, making it farther and farther into the B-side. And all seemed well until I found Theo. It's basically impossible to not touch the floor when you're holding Theo, and he was giving me a really hard time to clear these rooms. Until eventually, after 3 days of hard work, this happened. Anyways, after that, we can finally move onwards to reflection. There really isn't much to talk about in the beginning of reflection. However, near the end is where it gets really tough. This battle line segment isn't really that difficult. It's mostly just that it takes 16 billion years to complete. But before we move on, I do want to say that I did find a really interesting glitch. While you're hitting battle line, if you somehow manage to die, this happens.
But Eleni drank too much. No.
Also, for some reason, this only works on the first phase, and I do not know why. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's move on to the final chapter, The Summit. Thankfully, the beginning of this chapter really isn't all that difficult, and it only starts getting difficult once you hit Forsaken City. This ending segment takes a really long time to get. This part at 1,000 meters sucks. And this part at 1,500 meters shouldn't even exist. But thankfully, nothing was stopping me, and I easily made it to 3,000 meters. And eventually, after a long time, I finally managed to make it to Flag 1. As I climbed higher and higher up this mountain, I could feel nothing but happiness, as I knew that I was gonna finally be able to beat Celeste without touching the floor. You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I literally touched the floor on the last possible thing. But I'm not gonna give up there. I did not spend 15 hours throwing around with Theo to throw on the last possible section. So I did a restart and attempted the last section again. But my phone literally overheated and I had to put it in the freezer. But you know what they say? Third time's the charm. Please do not mess up. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, that took like 6 months. Oh my god.
You were spending your precious
No, I'm stuck. Help, I'm stuck. Help, no!